Over here. Look.
No crank. Great.
Why did he feel like he needed so much protection? More magic mockery. He wished to disguise his presence, or perhaps to distract from it.
It's just a lift. Why is this mechanism so complex? That book, again.
So these cultists used the Agrippa for their rituals.
That sounds bad. How bad?
Very bad. In search of eternal life, they fell into a trap. This book. Now, for their hubris, they served the void. They became a sorrow.
The crank. Good. The lift should work now. All this is more serious than we thought. I'm apprehensive, not just because we're going underground.
The sorrow won't welcome us.
What around here does. You know, I could get to like it underground. The darkness, the gloom, the cool air.
Really?
No, not really. Not at all. Did you bring your gardening tools? No? Moving on then. Shite. Here we go again.
One down. Now the others. Blasted pest! Look to me. Heads up! Careful! That was the last of them. I can help.
That's filthy. When all this is over, I might retire.
You'd miss it. You know you would. Here, I found something. Dead animals, again. Different symbols and magic. Seems they were used as bait. Is this how we got through the Sorrow's vigilance? Off we go then. Sorry, no can do.
So, here we are.
They wanted immortality. They got it.
The trade isn't fair. Guess that's the point. Now let's go before I change my mind. Dark rituals, void breach, general weirdness. Lammy can't be far.
Wards, think you can fend for yourself? Wards, I'm going to need a hand here.
Demonologists really like pushing the limits of their knowledge without considering other lives.
That just makes them human. Take care. The place is warded.
It's awfully calm. Why is it awfully calm?
I'm back.
At long last.
Wards, think you can fend for yourself?
us, won't you? Have a bit of this. Think we fixed it.
Red, I can't manifest anymore.
Die, you bastard!
Wards, think you can fend for yourself? Creepy hideout. The governor's spawn likes a bit of drama.
This one's different. Looks like it died diseased. This is some dark, sideways magic.
It's forbidden. I've read it.
Sometimes I worry about you. Ugh. What is this thing?
Banisher rule number 4.
If it oozes, don't touch it. Another botched experiment?
It may be native to the void. So, you can see me. Aren't you full of surprises, young Master Haskell?
You may talk. A Banisher ghost. Amazing. How on God's earth did you find me? Never mind that. Thank the Lord you did. Thought I was going to grow old in here.
As hiding places go, the Void is quite the choice.
Yes, an amazing place. Or plane? World? The Arrowloo is not easily described, but it makes a fascinating study. Tell me, how did you get past the Guardian beneath the mill? Did you use a decoy?
We fought it. Don't change the subject.
You fought it? Of course you did. A good thing too. I was starting to think it was wise to me tricks. Oh, but I have so many questions.
This isn't a social call, kid. And we're the ones with the questions.
Oh. Of course.
We must talk of Caleb Watson. Why in the hell would you give him a resurrection ritual?
Ruth's death hit poor Caleb hard. He was alone, and so I would often stop by his workshop. We talked. He took a keen interest in my studies and was a good listener. When he learned that she could possibly return, he had one question. How?
You saw his grief as an opportunity to test the effects of the lesser palingenesis.
Oh, you know the ritual too? Amazing, isn't it?
I've studied it. The actual ritual, not the mangled version you gave Caleb.
Yes, and I'm sorry. I found it in a copy of De Occulti Philosophia by Cornelius Agrippa von Nettesheim. A remarkable book.
I've met my fair share of illustrious occultists, and none owned an authentic Agrippa. Much is lost in translation or altered in the printing. I doubt your copy is an exception.
Of course! The power is in the words, and mine were wrong, so the power went awry. How very fascinating!
Are you aware of what would happen if people learnt of your studies?
Surely the acquisition of knowledge cannot be a sin.
Do you remember Deborah?
Miss Comenius. Yes, of course, I remember.
Your father tasked us with an investigation. One way or the other, we must return with the mystery solved.
Ah. I think I understand what you're saying. I might be in a tiny little bit of, danger.
From the looks of this place, you're knee-deep in research. What are you doing here exactly?
Searching for the origin of the Harrow's plague, of course. And I have a theory on the subject.
Of course you do. Go on then.
Now, at first, I believed the water poisoned, but my father sealed the well, and yet folk remained sick. They looked for witchcraft, a foolish, uneducated suspicion, yes, but with some truth concealed behind it. You see, the Arrowloo taints New Eden. Its influence leaches into the Harrows. The evidence is everywhere.
By the Arrowloo, do you mean the Void?
Neither name does it justice. This place is beyond words. The Arrowloo, Mr. McCraith, is made of the very fabric of our primordial myths. Isn't it amazing?
How can you be sure the Void has tainted the region?
In New Eden, the threshold between our plane and this is thin. Even I, a novice, may reach the frontier and then go beyond. I also believe it happened before. Some years ago, New Eden was hit by another epidemic.
Was it the same illness?
I believe that first epidemic was caused by the porosity of the frontier between New Eden and the Arrowloo. Although, where theirs was an affliction of burning flesh, ours is a corruption of mind and spirit. And I believe I have found its source. There is a substance, a strange ooze. You may have noticed it. This, I believe, is the true source of the Harrow's poison. It carries a particular stink. on the scent of which I experience first confusion, then a loss of control over my limbs.
What do you expect to find at the source of the ooze?
To find a cure. The ooze seeps into our world, sickening us. I may be able to stop it. Unfortunately, I cannot reach the source. The Araloo is a formidable place. Tricky. A maze constantly evolving, changing, reshaping itself. The isthmus, for example. I found an oozing crack in the ground. The terrain then remade itself, and I can get to it no longer.
Perhaps we might be able to find a way through and take a look at that source.
Would you? That would be splendid. Would you mind taking notes?
You see ghosts. You stroll the void as if it were your garden. You possess and share forbidden rituals. Who are you really?
I'm Lammy Haskell, and I am a man of many sciences. I am in fact a true pursuer.
That raises more questions than it answers.
What are the pillars of the universe? Which principles underpin existence? As occultists, do we change the world or scratch upon its surface? Each discipline I embrace peels back a new layer of reality. I'm yet at the beginning and see where I already stand. Amazing, no?
You did not find the void breach beneath the mill by accident. You had help. Who taught you?
I did my research.
Suddenly, you're a man of few words.
I'd rather not involve those not present. Discretion, you understand.
Your father is convinced a witch poisoned his well. Caleb Watson was cursed by a ritual you gave him. I'd focus if I were you.
We must counter the devil with knowledge of his tricks. That, my father always said, is the purest of God's work.
Aye, I can imagine your father saying that.
When I was 10, he gave me my initiation. Demonology, sir, as he would say. He saw me as his heir. Then, of a sudden, the books were forbidden. So I stole them, the very same books he'd forced upon me as a boy. I understand them where he does not. I did no wrong, apart from a little theft.
You've studied demonology. Did you do it alone?
When my father forbade me to continue, I confess I disobeyed him in secret. Those big books were very boring until they were forbidden. Suddenly I could not get enough of their secret knowledge. Funny, eh? More recently, a good friend of my father showed me that I had only been scratching at the surface.
Who was your father's friend?
An itinerant Frenchman who often visited New Eden in recent years. He called himself a true pursuer. As a thinker, he was prolific and profound. My father was so proud to be included in his discourse. For him, knowledge is the ladder to greatness, and greatness is the prize. To me, knowledge is itself the prize.
Let's go take a closer look at that ooze then.
And with that sorrow gone, I can leave. Do be careful. My home is your home. If you need anything, help yourself.
The Araloo is not your home, Lammy. But thank you.
Pardon my morbid enthusiasm, Mistress Duarte, but could I ask you a few questions?
What do you wish to know?
Do you still need to eat? Do you feel hunger? Sorry, it's just, you're the first go.
Ugh, what is this thing?
Banisher rule number 4.
If it oozes, don't touch it. Another botched experiment?
It may be native to the void.
How may I help you? And which of you may I help?
Let's go take a closer look at that ooze then.
And with that sorrow gone, I can leave. Do be careful. My home is your home. If you need anything, help yourself.
The Araloo is not your home, Lamy. But thank you.
How do you manifest in this plane? Do you feel bound, or are you here by choice?
It feels as if I were clinging to a rope, high above the abyss. Even if I wished to let go, I could not bring myself to do it.
I see. What about your Banisher skills? Can you use them? Do the accoutrements of your craft still work? As a ghost, do they not harm you?
The marks on my hands and the rings on my fingers aren't actually there. They have no more effect on me than a memory.
Can you talk to any ghost you wish?
No. I sense traces of their presence. To talk to them, I must still do the work.
And yet here I am, talking to you. How marvelous. The dead are rarely as articulate, nor are they accommodating. In fact, they're often quite rude.
We should probably get going. Some other time, then.
But we've merely scratched.
Antea, we should get going. So, the pious governor's unassuming son is our evil Harrow's witch.
The more powerful the loose cannon, the more dangerous it is. I don't know that I buy Lamy's hair of the dog theory, but I feel strange, and I suspect the ooze.
Only one way to find out. Oh, God! I need a wee bit of help here.
Ugh, Lamy was right. This stuff means business. Wards. I'm going to need a hand here. Beware. Wards. Much better. I think a way to pass could be near. I have another in sight.
Oozes through the breach, suppurates like a festering wound.
How delightful.
Let's see what lies on the other side. Where are we now?
Underground, looks like.
Wonderful.
The ooze affects the incarnate too. The ooze affects the incarnate too. Who goes there?
Is that a ghost?
I don't know. But I don't think we're alone. What might you be then?
What was...
Innocence crushed. Oh, shite.
Did you just say shite? You? It's bigger than I thought it'd be.
Is that a house from the Harrows?
We may be below the well.
No wonder they all got sick.
The cries of the innocent have reached the ears of the Lord Almighty.
This house belonged to a certain Antipas and Clemency Gibbs. Is it just me or...
I felt it too.
The Gibbs' land was barren. They were struggling for money.
Look up. The ooze, oozed through the very stone.
Mr. and Mrs. Gibbs, have you read my paper?
I read it, aye. And then I washed my hands and prayed for grace. You claim to prove that there is no curse. Well,
A witch would say that, wouldn't she?
Wherever people gather to live, disease takes hold, and I believe... What are you doing?
your evil lies shall be destroyed. We know who you are, and you shall be judged. Witch!
They were determined to do for her. She built a case for her rationality, and they tore it apart.
And of all of them, just this one house fell down.
Maybe it was personal.
Was the Gibbs' house targeted by the ooze?
Obviously. Look around you.
Piss off!
Peter!
Mrs. Gibbs, I presume. Shall we?
Have a bit of this.
hogging all the fun.
Another shadow.
What do they want? Red, something is keeping me from manifesting.
In here? Ah, shite.
Wards, think you can fend for yourself?
Perhaps a reward's here to counter the curse.
Well now, I'm honored. Red, I can't manifest anymore.
Another ward. This one looks intact.
The greedy strive with purpose to bring ruin to the households of the righteous. Guilty.
I can't help you. Better.
You're welcome.
Now let's inspect the body.
To make you angry.
I have another in sight. Someone didn't want to stay dead.
Clemency Gibbs blamed the epidemic on a witch. Come from New Eden Town with the governor.
That's not what Deborah's research pointed at.
And the Gibbs were not at home to rational explanations.
Stop that spectre before it possesses the corpse. Can I join in too?
The greedy shall fall, and their certitudes be smoked when the final judgment comes.
Do you see anywhere that could help?
Keep searching here. No, this isn't good.
See anything?
Either the water table is full of ooze, or there's another source.
Let's search upstream.